How's it going, guys? Spicy Donut here. Today I wanted to make a video on the different resistant types that you can be utilizing, the resistant piercings you have to be looking out for, and defensive piercing as well. So today I have Engelbert and Thancred for my testing dummies. I like to use Thancred and Engelbert together because they're both flight units and they have access to using the Bahamut vision card, which is one of the key components of this video. But I'll get to that in a second. First of all, Thancred has his Lionheart replica, which has slash attack up. It has slash attack resistance piercing, which is going to be important. He has access to the Black Garb, which gives defensive piercing, as well as his vision card. His vision card gives slash attack resistance piercing as well. For Engelbert, I have two setups. I'm going to have a setup where he's only using slash attack resistance, and the other setup is going to be using unit attack resistance and area resistance, or AoE. So for my first test, or I should say for these tests, I'm not going to be using espers. I'm trying to control as much of the damage as possible to get a difference in the two types of resistances and the piercings that affect them. So in this test, I took screenshots and compared them side by side, which I'm going to bring up now. So as you can see on the left side, I have Engelbert with the unit attack resistance and AoE on, and you can see that it did a lot less damage than on the right side, where it was only slash attack resistance. And this is data that I wanted to show everybody, just so they can get an idea of what unit attack and area attack resistance will do to your unit. Now, I do know that the stats for getting unit attack resistance and AoE resistance is a little harder to acquire over slash attack resistance. There's lots of slash attack resistance gear. There's a lot of it for espers and even vision cards. So that's kind of why I wanted to put this together, just to show that yes, it's good to have some resistance built up on a unit, but unit attack resistance and AoE resistance, in my opinion, is a little bit more important, especially with the more and more units are being released. More units are having these buffs to where they can pierce defense, pierce any resistance piercing type, and this even applies as far as like magic and spirit. It should be the exact same thing. For example, with the Valifor vision card that just came out, that has magic attack piercing on it, and that's the first one that's gonna come out. I'm pretty sure there's more like later down the road, but just to give y'all like an idea that yeah, there's pretty much resistance piercing of every type out there, with the exception of the unit attack resistance and AoE resistance. I'm pretty sure there's a few abilities that weaken these buffs, but there's not a whole lot, at least for right now. But I wanted to make this video to show people who are newer or just needed a reminder that if you can get gear, vision cards, I don't think there's any espers, but gear, vision cards, with unit attack and AoE resistance, try to acquire those. They're pretty important. Now it does kind of suck that, like for example with the Bahamut vision card, yeah, it's a pretty good unit attack resistance buff, but it's on a vision card made for light units, so not everybody has an account built for this kind of thing. Now I know there's other like variation of stats that take into effect when building a unit up, some of that being like the man eater, an elemental resistance, as well as some units having access to their own barriers. I don't think those are easy to control. I don't think there's a whole lot of gear that's out there that you can mess with to control those numbers easier. Maybe later in the future we'll have more like gear that'll be like strictly elemental resistance or like man-eater resistance. Who knows? There's no telling what War Division holds for us in the future. So for right now, having access to just a little bit of unit resistance and AoE resistance, getting any of that and trying to acquire it to use for your units is very important. So that's going to be it for today's video. I just wanted to make this quick video showing to newer people or people who just needed a reminder on how important it is to have these resistances. But once again, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.